Farming is something that the youth generally does not take into cognizance, but a group of young tertiary students thinks otherwise. The national champion team from the University of Johannesburg will represent South Africa at the Enactus World Cup 2016 in Toronto in Canada. The team won this competition for the first time for their development and implementation of outstanding sustainable in organising farming projects in the townships. And for more on this, we are very pleased to be joined in studio by Masonwabe, Fuma and Nomvelo, the students at the University of Johannesburg. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning and a very good morning to your viewers.
Masonwabe, tell us more about this project.
So Enactus, to begin with, Enactus is a global non-profit organization that aims to curb socio-economic disparities that are faced by poor and underprivileged communities. So a great deal of our work is centered around bettering and empowering our communities and cooperatives in particular through our skills, knowledge and expertise. So each university in South Africa has the program Enactus, and we have about more than 25 institutions in South Africa. So every year we have Enactus national competitions which are held at the Sentin Convention Center, whereby we present our work to top business leaders and executives from the country. So we present the work that we've done over the past Enactus year, which starts from August and ends in July the next year. So over at the national competitions, we presented two of our projects, which is Izindaba Zokudla and the Jesuit Refugee Services. So Izindaba Zokudla is a multi-stakeholder engagement research project that aims to create opportunities for urban agriculture in a sustainable food system in and around Soweto.
Nomvelo, tell us more about the second part of the project, which deals with refugees.
Refugees, it's, the project started off last year, and it mostly helps the refugees from countries of concern, as you well known in Somalia, your Nigeria, your Burundi, so those countries that are affected by war and political instability. So with Jesuit Refugee, our officers are in the Johannesburg and also in Pretoria. So they come in and with whatever vulnerability that they have, and then they get assessed, and then as Enactus University of Johannesburg, we start helping them in business. So in business skills, and we train them basically on how they can start up a surveillance business so that they can get a day-to-day meal, basically.
Very interesting indeed. Masonwabe, let's expand on that point. I mean, a lot of people think, you know, there's various entities to farming, but which one does your project deal with?
So we deal with subsistence farming. So our workshops began back in 2013. And the aim of the workshops was to enable our farmers to develop a strategic plan of action that will enable them to prioritize their own interests alongside and in support of the Johannesburg Urban Agricultural Strategy. So that's when we came up with these workshops back in 2013 to assist the farmers. But then over the years in 2016, the farmers who are more committed to the farmer school in 2013, we elected them in 2016 to take part in the Green Week initiative. Now Green Week is an initiative by Enactus UJ whereby 400 Enactus UJ students come together and they unearth practical solutions to the farmers' practical problems.
Tell us more about that. I mean, how does this complement your studies then?
It's quite easy, because now you're taking what you're learning in class and then you're applying it practically. And you know, with this whole week, which you call Green Week, the students go and interview these farmers. You know, they get into it and they see the farms itself, and it's quite really amazing. And they create different logos, business plans also, so it's quite amazing. It's an amazing week.
But in addition to what Nomvelo is saying, over the Green Week initiative, we managed to create 37 branding packages, and we saved our cooperatives 185,000.
Wow.
But in addition to that, we created 20 prototypes, and once implemented, they could create more than 1,000 new jobs, self-sustainable jobs.
Look, is the agricultural department a member of this by any chance?
No, we have not yet formally engaged them.
When are you going to do that?
No, what happens is, because now there's different groups that interact with different cooperatives, so it's then that group starts to engage with different stakeholders, like your Department of Agriculture. So with my project, for example, Gold Soil is the one that I was much more involved in. So, you know, coming up with strategies on how they can go about to apply for different funds in the department. So each person basically in a team has to play different roles. So it just all boils down to now when we report everything and it's this one big image that people are like, wow, how did you do that? And it's like, it's everyone's commitment and each one spending their time to make sure that the projects are successful.
Let's now talk about the World Cup out in Toronto. What's going to happen? Who's going? Who's been elected?
So the World Cup is from the 28th until the 30th of September in Toronto. Now at the World Cup, the national champions from 36 countries across the globe get together and they compete through presenting their projects to world-class judges who are business people as well.
Wow.
So we'll be presenting the two projects. So at UJ, we have 884 students, which is the biggest team in the world. And we want to take as many people as possible, but at the moment we can only take about 15 to 20 students. So we are fundraising as well. One of the initiatives that we're doing is that we have an Enactus t-shirt, Enactus t-shirts that we're selling at 100 Rand a t-shirt. Now, the aim of these t-shirts that we're selling, we want people to wear them on the 28th until the 30th to show their support. Yeah, to show their support when we're at the World Cup in Canada.
Where's my t-shirt?
No, we'll bring it for you.
We'll bring it for you.
Definitely, I want to show my support. And I mean, speaking of support, what sort of support do you still need from South Africans out there?
We need them to basically sponsor us for the trip because we'll be traveling from the 25th and then we possibly coming back on the 2nd of October.
Yeah.
So we just need funds basically for flights and for pocket money when we're there to just buy something to eat and something that we can come back with and say, hey,
Absolutely.
I got you this year.
Look, Masonwabe, I know, I mean, we're almost out of time, but I just want to understand, you said this, that every university has this project, but how do they participate and how do you encourage them to get to a stage where they go to the World Cups?
So every institution in South Africa has the program Enactus. So we have at UJ, we have a recruitment week whereby in that week, we try and get as many people involved to become a part of Enactus.
Okay.
So I'm not sure.
So they sign up or they join?
So they sign up to be a part of Enactus and then allocate projects to them. But we don't just allocate, we sort of give you the project and then you choose the type of project that best suits your personality and knowledge and then you get involved in that project. So when presenting our community outreach projects, the judges judge us on a criteria which is composed of 3 components. The project needs to socially impact lives. It needs to socially impact lives, be environmentally sustainable, but also it needs to be economically sustainable as well. So once the team has met the 3 criteria, the team that has most met the 3 criteria, they are the ones who get to win the national champions.
This is very interesting. You know, we've just experienced one of the severest droughts in the African continent. I mean, do projects like this then cater for solutions for such?
Yeah, they do, because during our Green Week, that's when our Faculty of Architecture, they came up, and engineering also, they come up with different prototypes on how for irrigation systems, that can help farmers. Because for one, when a farmer has to water the garden and they're using a bucket, it takes a lot of time, and you find that they have almost 2 hectares of land. That is quite time consuming. So with irrigation systems that they've come up with, it's much easier for them to just water their garden. So
and also put out the felt fires that have been widespread, Masonwabe.
Yes, certainly. So I think also, you'll remember that in December 2015, the UN and the Food Agricultural Association, they issued a warning that 6.3 million people in South Africa will face food shortages this year. But also in addition to that, you'll remember that, over 60% of SA's population is urbanized, with just 6% involved in food production. That's when urban farmers in the city of Johannesburg wanted to do something about this. So they involved Enactus University of Johannesburg along with Dr. Malan from the Department of Developmental Studies at UJ. So we sat together with Dr. Malan from the Department of Developmental Studies to try and come up with workable solutions around how we can begin to combat this food insecurity.
You guys have made farming so cool. I'm going to wait for my t-shirts. And of course, where can people get those t-shirts, Nomvelo, once more?
They can get them from our campus, Soweto campus, at Okamba Building, Office 8D311. That's where they can get it. Or we're always visible on campus with the t-shirts because we're also trying to promote ourselves, that we are known on campus as well.
But also they can like our Enactus University of Johannesburg page, which is Enactus University of Johannesburg, and they can inbox us and we'll take it from there.
And you will deliver like you'll
Yes.
deliver my
Yes, we'll
t-shirts. I'm going to
deliver.
hold you to that one. And
Yeah.
best of luck with this great initiative, guys. We'll see you after, of course, the competition, the World Cup. And of course, we're hoping that you might bring back
Yeah,
that
we're
prize.
coming back
Do you
with
know
it.
what the prize is, maybe, very quickly? What do you win? If you do win?
Honestly, we're not quite
not sure
sure,
yet.
yeah,
No,
but
we're
we
not
just
sure
know that we have to come back with a cup. Yeah.
All right, look, we'll bring you back at a later stage, possibly after the World Cup stages, and see what you guys achieve there. Thank you so much. That is Masonwabe, Fuma and Nomvelo, the students at the University of Johannesburg who have made farming as well as catering for refugees the coolest thing on earth. We're going to take a quick ad break after that. The Sports Guru will be back with the sports news.